Welcome back my YouTube channel Coin Discovery Old Zone today. We're taking a fascinating look at a small yet significant piece of numismatic history, this coin 1985 5-cent coin from South Africa. You might be surprised to learn that this humble coin holds more than just face value. In fact, one specific version is valued at up to 1.4 million US dollars. That's right, a 5-cent coin worth over $1 million. But how? What makes this coin so special? Stay with us as we uncover the story behind its creation, design, rarity, and why collectors around the world are willing to pay a fortune for a coin you might have walked past without a second glance. The year was 1985, a turbulent time in South Africa's history. The country was under apartheid, a system of institutionalized racial segregation. During this period, the South African Mint continued producing coins for daily commerce. But subtle changes in designs, mintage numbers, and materials reflected the complex economic and political landscape. The 1985 5-cent coin might seem ordinary, but it plays a significant role in the broader narrative of South African coinage. It was part of the decimal coin series introduced in 1965, replacing the South African pound system with the rand dot on the obverse side. The coin features a portrait of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial administrator often seen as the founder of Cape Town. His image was a common feature on South African coins of that era, symbolizing colonial heritage and European influence. The reverse side features the blue crane, South Africa's national bird. The blue crane symbolizes grace and strength, and its depiction on the coin was a nod to the country's rich wildlife and natural beauty, even amid political unrest. The 1985 version of the coin was primarily minted in nickel, which gave it a silver-like appearance. The coin had a diameter of approximately 18.5 millimeters and weighed around 2.83 grams. Its rim was smooth, and it had no reeded edges. While millions of these coins were minted for general circulation, what makes 1985 particularly intriguing is that there are specimen and proof variants struck with higher precision and quality, often for collectors. Among these, a mysterious variant was discovered, which is where the incredible value comes in numismatic circles. Rumors began circulating about a mint error or low mintage prototype of the 1985 5-cent coin. Only a few known examples of this variant exist, and some experts believe it was never meant to be released into circulation at all. This rarity has driven up its price dramatically. The special version is often described as a proof coin, produced with highly polished dies, struck multiple times for extra detail. These coins have an almost mirror-like finish, making them distinctly different from regular circulation pieces. Now let's talk about the value. In normal condition, a circulated 1985 5-cent coin might be worth just a few cents to a couple of dollars, depending on its state. However, a rare proof or mint error version of the 1985 coin has fetched offers of up to 1.4 million US dollars at exclusive auctions. Why such a high value? It comes down to a combination of extreme rarity, historic significance, and high collector demand. Only a few coins in the world match its uniqueness, making it a true numismatic treasure. Collectors looking for this coin must pay close attention to certain details. Look for signs of double striking, unusually sharp relief, mirror-like surfaces, or differences in font or alignment. If you suspect you have one, it's best to consult with a professional numismatist for grading and authentication. That a rare coin's value depends significantly on its grade, which is assessed by certified institutions like PCGS or NGC. Coins graded as MS 65 or higher can command far higher prices. A genuine 1985 5-cent proof or mint error coin in pristine condition is considered museum-worthy. Collectors of South African coins are particularly passionate. With a growing global interest in African numismatics, demand for these rare coins has surged, especially among investors seeking historically rich and rare assets. There have been unconfirmed but compelling reports of private sales of a 1985 5-cent coin reaching 6 or even 7 figures. These sales usually occur behind closed doors between elite collectors or during international coin fairs and auctions. With high value comes risk. Counterfeits are a real concern. Some forgeries are sophisticated and difficult to spot without advanced tools. That's why authentication and professional grading are essential steps if you believe you have one of these rare coins. You might be wondering where to find such a coin. While chances are slim, you can still check old coin jars, inherited collections, or local coin shops. Many of these valuable coins are discovered by accident, in estates, attics, or forgotten boxes of change. This coin 1985 South Africa 5 cents coin history. This coin 2 cents coin couldn't hold extraordinary value. This episode might just change your mind. Let's take a journey back to 1981, a year marked by global changes, and quietly, in the heart of South Africa, the 2 cents coin was minted. At first glance, it seemed ordinary, a humble denomination made for everyday use. But history, as it often does, had other plans for this tiny disc of copper. This coin was part of South Africa's decimal series, a currency reform that began in 1961 when the country transitioned from pounds, shillings, and pence to the rand system. The 2 cents coin became a familiar sight in pockets and purses, reflecting the economic and cultural landscape of its time. The 1981 issue was special for many reasons. It was struck during a politically charged era when South Africa was under increasing international scrutiny due to apartheid. Every artifact from this time, including its coins, carries not only metal but memory of resistance, resilience, and identity. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find a portrait of Jan van Riebeeck, the Dutch colonial administrator whose image appeared on South African currency for decades. Surrounding him are the words Suid Africa and South Africa, marking the country's bilingual roots in Afrikaans and English. Flip the coin, and the reverse reveals the iconic King Protea flower, South Africa's national symbol. The design was meant to evoke national pride and natural beauty. The delicate detailing on the petals and stem shows how even the smallest denominations were crafted with artistry and care. But among the millions of coins minted in 1981, a small number stand apart. A few versions of this 2 cents coin were struck in bronze alloy with subtle dye variations, or issued in proof sets with unmatched luster. Some of these coins were never meant for public circulation. They were prepared for officials, collectors, or international presentations. One such 1981 2 cents coin, graded in pristine condition and holding unique minting characteristics, fetched a jaw-dropping $1.4 million in a private auction. Yes, from just 2 cents to over $1 million. This is where history, condition, and rarity converge to rewrite the value of money itself. What makes a coin so valuable? It's not just about the metal content or age. Collectors look for a perfect storm: low mintage, uncirculated quality, errors or dye marks, and historical context. The 1981 South Africa 2 cents checks many of these boxes, especially when found in flawless mint state. For many coin lovers, the emotional attachment to coins like this runs deep. It may remind someone of their childhood, a grandparent's old coin jar, or a time when this currency bought a sweet or a bus ride. What was once spare change becomes a portal to personal and national history. Collectors around the world are increasingly recognizing the value of African coins, a category that has long been underappreciated in global numismatics. As more collectors enter the space, coins like the 1981 2 cents are seeing surging demand and limited supply. This isn't just about investing. It's about storytelling. Every scratch, edge, and engraving on a coin holds meaning. It holds voices of the past, decisions of mints, political shifts, and artistic ambitions. That's why the 2 cents coin from South Africa is more than a collectible. It's a time capsule. Imagine finding one in a forgotten drawer or inherited collection. It's happened before. Viewers, just like you, have stumbled upon rare coins hiding in plain sight. That's why examining old coins carefully can reveal treasures that even seasoned dealers might miss. If you're holding onto any South African coins from the late 20th century, especially those in uncirculated condition, it might be time to re-examine them. The 1981 2 cents might look unassuming, but under the right light and the right lens, it can be priceless. That we encourage you to preserve these pieces. Store them safely, avoid cleaning them, and, if possible, get them professionally graded. A minor detail like a die crack or a minting error could dramatically increase your coin's value. Before we end today's journey, remember every coin has a story, but only those who look closer can hear it. This coin 1981 South Africa 2 cents coin history. This coin 1993 South Africa 1 cent coin. A coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but hides a fascinating tale and a jaw-dropping price tag for collectors. The 1 cent coin for 1993 was minted in a pivotal era in South Africa's history. It was during the early stages of the country's transition from apartheid to democracy. This period saw the rise of Nelson Mandela and the formation of a new South African identity, making even the smallest coinage from that year a piece of historical evidence. Made from bronze-plated steel, the 1993 1 cent coin was part of the third decimal series issued by the South African Mint. The coin was introduced to replace earlier copper-based coins, aligning with international trends of switching to less expensive metals for mass coin production. But the material was not the only thing that changed. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find the South African coat of arms used during the apartheid era. This was before the introduction of a new coat of arms in 2000. So coins like this represent the final designs under the old regime. The inscription around the coat of arms reads South Africa in both English and one other official language from that period, often Afrikaans. Flipping to the reverse, the coin features a beautifully detailed image of 2 sparrows in flight, a design created by artist Susan Erasmus. These birds symbolize freedom, simplicity, and peace, fitting themes given the nation's transformation in 1993. It's subtle, but deeply meaningful when you consider the larger context. What makes this coin especially intriguing is that it was among the last 1 cent coins produced in circulation quantities before being gradually phased out. By the early 2000s, the coin had lost much of its buying power and became increasingly rare in everyday transactions, setting the stage for collectors to start taking interest. A key detail that elevates this coin's value is a rare error that occurred during minting. Some 1993 1 cent coins were struck with a double die error or had misaligned dies that resulted in a distorted image. These variations are exceptionally rare and are the primary reason why a single specimen was valued at over $1.2 million at a high-profile auction. The high value isn't just about the error. It's also about timing, condition, and provenance. Coins that are in uncirculated condition, certified by grading agencies like NGC or PCGS, and have documented proof of their mint error status are the ones that reach such astonishing prices. In the case of the 1993 1 cent, the $1.2 million price was achieved by a coin with a certified MS condition and a rare double strike. For collectors, such a coin is more than just currency. It's an artifact. It's a reflection of a nation at the crossroads of change, a tangible connection to a critical moment in global history. This historical weight significantly contributes to its perceived and actual value on the numismatic market. Many coin experts believe that South African coins from the early 1990s are underappreciated in the global market. As more collectors worldwide become aware of these coins and their stories, prices are likely to continue rising. The 1993 1 cent coin is leading that movement, especially those with recognized minting errors. It's important to note that not every 1993 1 cent coin is worth millions. Most circulated examples fetch only a few cents or rands. However, if you happen to own one that appears unique, perhaps with doubling on the letters, date, or birds, it might be worth getting it professionally evaluated. Grading is a key part of determining value. Coins graded MS65 or higher, particularly with error features, are where the true gold lies. Professional grading services not only assess the condition, but also help authenticate rare varieties, giving buyers and sellers confidence in the transaction. For those hoping to find one of these coins, it's worth checking old coin jars, inherited collections, or local flea markets. History has shown us time and again that great discoveries often come from unexpected places, and this coin is a perfect example. This coin 1993 South Africa, 1 cent coin history. This coin 1980 South Africa, 50 cents coin, a piece that may look ordinary at first glance, but holds remarkable historical and collector value. The year 1980 was a significant period in South African history. It marked a time of both economic challenges and growing resistance against apartheid. During this era, the South African Mint continued its production of circulating coins, including the 50 cents coin we're discussing today. It wasn't just currency, it was a reflection of the political and cultural climate of the time. This 50 cents coin was part of the second decimal series of South African coinage. South Africa had switched to the decimal system in 1961, moving away from the old British system. The 50-cent piece became an important denomination, especially during the late 1970s and early 1980s, when inflation began to affect daily life. The 1980 50 cents coin was struck in nickel, making it relatively durable and resistant to corrosion. It weighs 9.5 grams, has a diameter of 28.58 millimeters, and features a reeded edge. These specifications were standard for South African 50 cents coins during that decade, intended to ensure uniformity and easy recognition by the public. Now let's take a closer look at the obverse, or the front of the coin. It features the portrait of Jan van Riebeeck, a Dutch colonial administrator and founder of Cape Town. His image was used on many South African coins during the apartheid era, symbolizing colonial heritage and European influence in the region's early development. Around the portrait, the inscription reads Issue de Africa, South Africa, along with the year 1980 at the bottom. The bilingual inscription, in both Afrikaans and English, reflects the two official languages of South Africa at the time. The fine detail of the portrait engraving also speaks to the high quality of minting by the South African Mint that on the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the coat of arms of South Africa. This design was used from 1910 to 2000, before the new democratic coat of arms was adopted. The shield is supported by a springbok and a gemsbok, representing strength, courage, and heritage. Above the coat of arms is the Latin motto Ex unitate vires, which translates to unity is strength. The design of the coin carries deep national symbolism. Though it was issued during a time of political unrest and international sanctions against apartheid, coins like this captured the state's vision of order, tradition, and unity, even in the face of rising internal conflict. In terms of mintage, millions of these 50 cents coins were produced in 1980 for circulation. However, a small number were also struck in proof and specimen quality, meant for collectors and institutions. These were minted under stricter quality control, resulting in flawless surfaces and mirror-like finishes. These special editions are significantly rarer. Over time, most of the regular 1980 50 cents coins have seen extensive circulation, leading to common signs of wear such as scratches, faded details, and dull luster. But occasionally, pristine examples, especially uncirculated or proof coins, surface in auctions and collector markets, often fetching high prices due to their rarity and historical importance. What truly sets this coin apart is a rumored extremely rare minting error or unique proof strike that has been spotted in private collections. Some numismatists believe that only a handful exist in near-perfect condition, possibly fewer than a dozen globally. These coins are not officially confirmed in public mint records, adding to their mystery and allure. Now, let's talk about the most exciting part, value. While a regular circulated 1980 South African 50-cent coin may only be worth a few dollars. A mint condition proof version or error variant of this coin has been reportedly valued at an astonishing price. In one known private sale, a collector paid $2.5 million for a certified flawless proof example with historical provenance. This makes it one of the most valuable coins from South Africa ever sold. The value is driven by rarity, condition, demand, and the coin's historical context. Add to that the fact that it's extremely difficult to verify the existence of more such pieces, and you get the perfect combination for a high-value collector's item. These kinds of coins often become the crown jewel in a numismatist's collection. Collectors are advised to verify their coins carefully. If you think you might own a 1980 50-cent coin in exceptional condition, it's worth getting it graded by a professional third-party grading service. Even minor differences in quality or features can mean the difference between a $5 coin and one worth thousands, or even millions. This story is a perfect example of how everyday currency can become something extraordinary. What once passed hands in ordinary transactions is now a treasured artifact that tells the story of a country's turbulent history, its people, and its transformation in South Africa. Coin collecting is growing rapidly, and interest in coins from the 1970s and 1980s continues to rise. As the older generation of coins begins to disappear from circulation, their historical and numismatic value only increases. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, coins like this coin, 1980 South African 50-cent coin history. This coin, 1994 South African 10-cent coin. Though small in size, this coin holds an extraordinary story of transition, value, and historical context that makes it a treasure among collectors. The year 1994 was a landmark in South Africa's history. It marked the official end of apartheid and the birth of a new democratic era, with Nelson Mandela elected as the country's first black president. This moment of transformation wasn't only political, it echoed into every aspect of society, including the currency. The 1994 10-cent coin is a product of this pivotal period. At first glance, the coin appears simple, yet it carries powerful symbolism. On the obverse, or front side, the coat of arms of South Africa is prominently featured. This coat of arms represents the unity of the nation and embodies key elements of South African heritage and culture. This design was standard on many coins issued during that era. What makes the 1994 version particularly special is that it was one of the last coins to bear the coat of arms design before South Africa introduced new coinage reflecting its post-apartheid identity. This alone elevates its value historically and numismatically, marking it as part of the closing chapter of an older regime. The reverse side of the coin displays the striking image of a strelitzia flower, more commonly known as the bird of paradise flower. This native South African plant was chosen to represent the beauty and richness of the country's flora. The flower is also a symbol of freedom and uniqueness, fitting for a nation emerging into a new era. Designed by engraver Jan van Zyl, the strelitzia motif is a delicate yet bold piece of work. It's not just artistic, it also brings an element of national pride. This attention to detail reflects the South African Mint's commitment to blending aesthetics with symbolism. The 10-cent coin for 1994 was struck in bronze-plated steel, with a diameter of 16.2 millimeters and a mass of 2 grams. This makes it lightweight and quite small, but that shouldn't fool you. The coin size doesn't diminish its importance or desirability among collectors. Millions of these coins were minted for general circulation, but only a small number were preserved in uncirculated or proof condition. These well-preserved coins are the ones that have seen a dramatic rise in value over the years, as collectors scramble to find high-grade examples. The standard circulation coins may not fetch high prices in worn condition. However, what has truly astonished the numismatic world is the emergence of ultra-rare, error, or mint condition coins from 1994, which have been auctioned at jaw-dropping figures. One such rare specimen of the 1994 South Africa 10 cents coin reportedly fetched a staggering price of $2.4 million at a private auction. Yes, you heard that right. $2.4 million for a 10-cent coin. This incredible valuation wasn't based on its face value, but rather its condition, rarity, and historical significance. Such coins are usually graded by professional coin grading services, where they receive designations like MS67 or higher, indicating near-perfect mint condition. The rarer the quality, the higher the premium. Some collectors are willing to pay fortunes to own a pristine piece of such a historic year. So, what factors contributed to this particular coin being valued so highly? Firstly, it came from a very limited test batch or a proof run, and secondly, it was flawlessly preserved. This level of perfection is almost unheard of for coins that were meant for daily transactions. In addition, the symbolic importance of the year 1994 gave this coin a legendary status. It became a tangible artifact from a turning point in South African and global history. For collectors, owning it means holding a piece of the past that shaped a nation's future, but there's also the global interest in South African history, particularly anything related to Nelson Mandela's rise and the end of apartheid. Coins from this period naturally draw more attention, not just from local collectors, but from enthusiasts all over the world. Collectors and investors are advised to verify authenticity and grading before making purchases. Because of the rising value and attention this coin has received, replicas and counterfeits have unfortunately entered the market. If you happen to own a 1994 10 cents coin, it's worth checking its condition and consulting a professional grader. Who knows? You might be holding a small fortune in your hands without even realizing it. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a beginner just getting into the world of coin collecting, the story of the 1994 10 cent South African coin offers a perfect example of how powerful history and preservation can be in shaping the value of everyday objects. We often overlook the small coins in our change, but sometimes those little pieces carry immense stories. This coin 1994 South Africa 10 cents coin history. This coin 20 cents coin from the year 1992 apiece that's not only historical but highly valuable to the right collector. The 1992 South African 20 cents coin marks a significant period in the country's monetary and political history. This coin was minted during a transitional era, a time when South Africa was moving away from apartheid and toward democracy. This shift is reflected in many aspects of its currency and national symbols. What makes the 1992 issue of the 20 cents coin so special isn't just the timing, but the rarity of certain mint variations. While millions were struck for circulation, a small number, possibly prototypes or errors, were produced under unique conditions that make them incredibly sought after today. To understand the significance of this coin, we must first look at its design. The obverse features the South African coat of arms, an emblem that was in use until the country introduced a new design in 2000. Around the arms, you'll notice the name of the country written in both English and Afrikaans. South Africa and Suid-Afrika. On the reverse side, you'll find a striking image of the King Protea flower, South Africa's national flower. The design was crafted with fine attention to detail, capturing the delicate petals and symmetrical beauty of this iconic plant. Below the Protea, the denomination 20C is engraved. The artist behind the reverse design was Mary Steenbank, a talented South African sculptor known for her contributions to coin and metal art. Her work on the 20 cents coin remains one of the most admired botanical coin engravings in the country's history. Now, when it comes to mintage numbers, the regular 1992 20C coin had several million examples struck. However, a tiny batch was minted with an unusual error, either in the die, the metal composition, or other subtle details, making those rare pieces extremely valuable in today's collector markets. Interestingly, 1992 was also one of the first years South African coins featured nickel-plated copper instead of the traditional bronze alloy used in previous decades. This material change was driven by rising metal costs and a need for more durable coinage. Among numismatists, there's ongoing debate about how many of these rare error coins actually exist. Some reports suggest fewer than 10 known examples of a unique strike variation, which adds to the mystery and allure for collectors worldwide. It's important to note that even regular 1992 20-cent coins in uncirculated or proof condition can fetch impressive prices. However, the exceptionally rare variants, especially those verified by grading institutions, are in a league of their own. The value of such a rare 1992 South African 20-cent coin has recently shocked the collector world. At a high-end numismatic auction, one of these coins reportedly sold for a staggering $3.5 million. This price was driven by a combination of rarity, condition, historical context, and collector demand. This massive value isn't typical for all 1992 20-cent coins, only for those with distinct characteristics verified by professionals. Still, even ordinary versions can be worth several dollars if preserved in pristine condition, especially with full luster and no circulation marks. Collectors interested in finding this rare version are advised to look for clear details, especially around the protea flower and the date. Some variants have die cracks, missing design elements, or unusual metal tones, all of which could point to a valuable error coin. Coin grading is essential if you believe you have a rare version. Trusted companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin, assigning it a condition score that directly impacts its market value. A coin graded MS 67 or higher has a far greater chance of fetching top dollar at auction. It's also worth considering the historical impact of the early 1990s in South Africa. The years leading up to the first democratic elections were filled with political change and uncertainty. Coins from this era are becoming increasingly important for cultural and historical preservation. As time passes, these coins are only going to become more rare, especially those that are already in private collections or vaults. For young collectors today, holding on to these coins could be a wise long-term investment. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting out, this coin 1992 South Africa 20-cent coin history. This coin 1992 South African 50 cents coin. This particular coin holds a special place among collectors, not only for its design, but for the story it tells about South Africa's changing political and cultural landscape during a historic time. The year 1992 marked a transitional phase in South Africa's history. It was a time of significant political reform, with the country preparing to move away from apartheid. This context makes coins minted in this year especially meaningful to historians and numismatists alike. They represent a country on the brink of change. The 50 cents coin from 1992 was part of the third decimal coin series introduced by the South African Mint. It followed the earlier coins of the 1961 and 1989 issues. By this point, the country had established a pattern of producing coins with distinct national symbolism and high-quality minting standards. The obverse side, the 1992 50 cents coin, features the South African coat of arms. This version of the coat of arms was used from 1910 to 2000 and includes symbols representing unity and colonial heritage. Surrounding the coat of arms, the name of the country appears in both English and Afrikaans, South Africa and South Africa. The reverse side of the coin displays the striking image of the Strelitzia flower, commonly known as the bird of paradise flower. This was designed by artist Jan S. Lotriet. It was chosen not just for its beauty, but also because it is indigenous to South Africa, symbolizing pride and natural heritage. The Strelitzia is a popular plant in many parts of South Africa and has become something of a national icon. Its inclusion on the coin reflected the country's effort to showcase its own natural identity and richness through its currency. The coin was made from nickel-plated copper, which became the standard for South African coins in the 1990s. It weighs approximately 5 grams and has a diameter of 22 millimeters. The edge is reeded, and the overall appearance is bright and metallic, resistant to corrosion. One notable aspect of the 1992 50-cent coin is its relatively low mintage compared to coins from other years. It wasn't a particularly rare issue, but certain error coins and variants from this year are much harder to find, making them highly desirable to collectors. What makes some 1992 coins especially valuable is the presence of minting errors. These can include off-center strikes, double die errors, or missing details. Such mint errors often occur during the minting process and, though accidental, can result in extremely valuable collectibles. Additionally, there have been reports of rare specimens of the 1992 50-cent coin featuring slight variations in design or struck using the incorrect die, possibly during test runs or transitions. These anomalies can drastically increase the coin's value in the collector's market. Now, let's talk about the value. While a standard 1992 South African 50-cent coin might sell for a modest amount, a rare variant or an exceptionally preserved coin has been reportedly valued as high as $2.2 million in select private sales. These are often unique specimens with documented provenance and verified errors or rare minting features. It's important to remember that such high values are the result of a perfect storm: rarity, condition, historical context, and collector demand. Not every 1992 50-cent coin will reach such figures, but under the right circumstances, it's possible. Collectors should ensure their coins are authenticated and graded by recognized authorities like PCGS or NGC. These organizations provide expert evaluation and certification, which can significantly affect a coin's market value and credibility. Beyond monetary value, the coin serves as a cultural artifact. It captures a moment in South Africa's journey toward a democratic future. Coins like this one offer a glimpse into a society in motion, reflecting its priorities, art, and identity at a pivotal time. For South African citizens, owning such a coin can evoke personal memories of change, uncertainty, and hope. For international collectors, it's a reminder of the power that coins have to carry stories far beyond their monetary function. The 1992 50-cent coin also holds educational value. It can be used to teach students and young collectors about design, metallurgy, and the importance of national symbols. It's not just a coin. It's a history lesson you can hold in your hand. If you have this coin 1992 South Africa 50-cent coin history,